is there anything you want to cover from the brainstorming ideation process? I guess you've kind of covered it a bit, and I guess from a curation perspective, it maybe it's a little bit different. But was there anything when I sent the questions through that you immediately thought of that was worth sharing from that angle?
Yeah, so the tools I think are important. So I use Gitpocket or Pocket, which is gitpocket.com, and
Yeah,
I save all the articles in there and read it in there because it often takes away a lot of the ads and spacing,
yeah,
and then I can filter through. So, for instance, I use Beehive, which is a relatively new tool. Tyler and the team are really good at shipping product releases, so I actually curate and create within Beehive. So unlike other newsletters I do it directly in there as opposed to on Google Docs. But basically, I'm a dyslexic, so I have dyslexia, and a lot of the time I need it for spelling check and grammatical errors, and it
yeah,
helps me with it. So these extensions are really important to me. So I've completely optimized my stack. Um, so going through it and the process is really different to how I would go through. So sometimes, because I sometimes even start on a Friday, so the newsletters go out at 7:30 every Friday morning,
yeah,
and I can instantly start the next week's newsletter because there might be something that's come through in the morning or overnight that has to go in next week's. But what that does do is it things go on the chopping room floor. So I try and only stick to like 10 links a week.
yeah,
But we go into the reason why it's 10 and click through rate and clicks to open, etc. But yeah, because I do it every day for the week. Sometimes things get removed or an update's happened, which makes the story null and void.
yeah.
So it's an interesting process. Some people think I'm mad for doing it the way I do, but it's the process I've settled with, and it's the most optimum I can I feel like it's getting the optimal out of the newsletter.
I don't doubt
Whereas
that. Go on.
leaders letter is very different. So I write a long list of topics and try and connect it with culture, company culture strategy, or the directions the companies are going. So I have a list of
Yeah,
problems, the problem areas, and then things that some people are never taught. I try and help people understand. So strategy is one that people always think everyone's got a strategy. They don't. It should be one company strategy. Then it should be like the departmental plans, team plans, and then the tactics. So
yeah,
try and break that down for people, for instance. And um, I can write the newsletter in minutes. Sometimes it comes to me and I'll knock it together really quickly and then schedule, and it's almost done. Whereas some of those can actually take four odd hours. But for instance, I write a lot of it in Apple Notes because when I'm on walking my dog or on a walk, something will come to me and I make notes. Then I shift it to
yeah.
Google Docs. Then I put it into WordPress, and then I put it into Substack and schedule and send. So I'm usually a couple of weeks before, it's a couple of weeks ahead, but it gives you the two sides of the different newsletters that I have and the two
Well, that's
processes
what I
of
was saying,
what I
right?
go through.
The creation and the curation is two totally different beasts.
100%.
And for those we didn't really talk about leaders letters much. Do you want to give a quick elevator pitch on what that is?
Yeah, so it's your weekly newsletter for leadership. So it's helping you to improve your leadership one action at a time. So it's
Okay.
weekly, so it gets delivered every Friday morning. So it should be hopefully an interesting thing in your inbox at 7:30 on Monday mornings.
Do you find? I mean, they're very different, right? One's a bit more niche. One's a bit more, um, or a lot broader, I guess. Does your thoughts about them because of that vary, change?
I'd say they both inform each other. So,
Okay.
for instance, there's a video I'm putting in this week's, which is on quantum computing, and that's in must reads
Okay.
because of the movement that we're all going towards within AI and having to have break things more quickly. So we're going to need to have more powerful computers.
Right.
Interestingly, that then plays into leaders letters because what a lot of companies have done is they've dived into AI or Chat GPT or Open AI. They've dived into it and they forced it early, as opposed to
Yeah.
really understanding the use case, why they're applicable. So I'm writing at the moment. I'm writing a newsletter which is I've been trying to complete for say 10 weeks, and it's
Okay.
around AI and leadership. And because it's changing, it's a rapidly changing space. This quantum computing has really helped me understand the concepts behind it and how leadership is connected to it and how leaders are making bad decisions or potentially bad decisions based on misunderstanding what they need to do or a fear of missing out. So
Yeah.
the two do go hand in hand. So I can curate on one side and then be inspired and create on the other.
Yeah.
But if I had to, if I was doing one, then I probably wouldn't be as informed if I didn't do must reads and just did leaders letters.
Yeah.